So one of the new things that Photoshop has is in the release version as well, and that is here on this brush icon. Currently it's the spot healing brush, but if you left click and hold that down, then you get this menu here. Many of these things have been here before, like the spot healing brush, the healing brush tool, the patch tool, the content aware move tool, and the red eye tool. But the new thing is the remove tool, and that's in the release version already. So if you click that, then you can go and draw something out, like say if I wanted to get rid of this status bar here, I can go and left click and drag over that, and we'll see if it works. And then I let go, and Photoshop should fill this in with something it reckons looks pretty close to the background, and it works incredibly well. This is basically like one of the previous tools here, the spot healing and the healing brush tools. They worked like that, but they always had some kind of artifact there. And I think the remove tool is just so cool. Like this here is a great example of something that if this was my screenshot that I needed, I might not want that tree in there. I can go and get rid of the tree. There. Tree gone. And it's quite amazing. So it kind of samples whatever's on the background. It's just crazy cool the way that works. So like these interface icons here, same thing. If you don't want to see those, it's best if you don't do them all at once. If you just go and say this, yeah, I don't want that in there. I mean, it's like, how did you do that, Photoshop? What did you do in order for that to work that well? I have no idea. People and stuff completely goes away with that. So this here, that might be a bit of a problem. I might go do this in two parts. This one first, and then that. There's a tiny bit of an issue still here, but it's so small. I really wouldn't even sweat it. There we go. Now it's gone. That's crazy, isn't it? So it's really cool. I really enjoy that. Let's see if we can get rid of our character here. That might be a bit much, so got to be a little bit careful with that. So maybe just the rocks here. That's quite nice. Perfectly filled in that background. It's crazy, isn't it? And also the speed at which it does it. Let me see if I can grab another screenshot of something else. Maybe if we go back on the boat. I did this with a Redfall screenshot the other day that I got off the internet, just as a test, if I can see if I can just get rid of some, like the main character that was in there. And like if I try to do this, not that it's an amazing screenshot, but if we do something like this, and see if we can get rid of the boat. So make a duplicate of that, just so that we have something to go back to. And I think we started with the strap at the top, so this is a bit more difficult now because we have a kind of a tower in the background. Let me see what it does with that. It's slightly wonky, but it's put in what it thought was a good idea. For a screenshot, that's actually not so bad. Maybe this at the top here, there's some white bits there. Perfect, let's do that. Very cool. And that's just the remove tool. That's something that's new in the latest version of Photoshop. But in a moment, I'll show you something that is just even more impressive. Remove tool, just in case you're wondering, you found that on here, on this, where it used to be the healing brush. The patch tool is kind of a manual approach on that. So patch tool, we already had that. Patch tool works by selecting an area that you want to replace with something else. So this is also very convenient. Now you can just go and left click and drag that over and choose the part of the image that you want to replace it with. This tool has been around for a few years, and if you do that with something neighboring like this, it does a pretty good job at blending it in. But if your color doesn't quite match, if you had something like this, if that's the only thing that you have, you can just select it, and then Photoshop will try its best to match the color. But you can still see that, I mean, it blends in the edges, but it doesn't do a super awesome job. But it has its uses. So if you have something on smaller patches, where you can just go and do that. So I've been using that for a while, and it's, if you do it cleverly, it kind of does the trick, does it well. But if we go and change this with the remove tool, I think the healing brush, there's a spot healing brush tool, I think that's another one. It's the precursor, I think, of the remove tool that we have. Basically, this was version 1, and it also works, but if you look closely, you can still see some artifacts in there. Maybe not so much here on the water. But when I've tried it, it was okay, but it didn't always work. But the remove tool, that seems to be like, OMG. I think it just goes and looks at the surrounding areas and puts a little splash in there. I don't know if I like the splash, so get rid of that splash as well. Perfect. So now I don't even see artifacts. So I've got to say, very impressed by that. But the best, so we already know about the icons here. Icons are easy-ish, depending on the background. But the boat, I'm looking forward to it removing the whole boat in the middle. It just makes my job so much faster. If there is a thing I need, like a stock image, and it's almost there, and I'm thinking, yeah, I wish it didn't have that. Let's see if we can do this here with the whole boat. Let me try to isolate the motor thing here first. Maybe like this. We just take it bit by bit. That's done that. Perhaps we don't want this part. Not bad, not bad, I have to say. Let's see if I can get rid of the guy here. Pretty cool. I mean, he's no longer in the boat. So how about his companion? I think that the key to this tool being really successful is that you have to do it in kind of in stages. Let me see if I can just do the whole boat now. And anything that might belong to the boat, like shadows and all that, you might find it easier to do the shadow in a second pass. I mean, we don't have a shadow here, but if you had a character standing on the ground, something like that. Okay, this is tricky and hard work. See how Photoshop deals with this. That's insane. That is this is one pass. That is pretty insane. I mean, you really have to look for the artifacts. You see some of the water splashes that the boat left here, but that is all. So we literally did all that. Wow. From the same source image, if you didn't know. Wow. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You could literally go to town and do more stuff now. Let's get rid of this whole building perhaps in the background. Replace that with, I don't know, nothing? Maybe just the background? Would it be clever enough to know that? Yes! It's just gone! That's so cool!